welcome to our weekly foray into the Times cryptic crossword. Mark and I have been doing a Friday video where we try and live solve the puzzle for the last few weeks, and it seems to be popular, so we're going to carry on doing it. Now, today's puzzle, Friday is normally the hardest puzzle of the week, and that is certainly going to be true today. The snitch is very high, and if we just look at the stats for this puzzle, you can see Moan might be real. I think that's John McCabe, but I think John McCabe, he's very, very fast. Magoo is real. That's Mark. 10 minutes nearly. For a Times crossword, Mark hardly ever takes 10 minutes for a crossword. So this is really, really challenging today. In fact, let's look at the top 100. I just want to see, yeah, so you can get into the top 100 here, look, with errors in at the moment, which is really, really unusual. And some absolutely expert solvers, people like Matthew Marcus, Verlaine, Andy Fisher, taking well over 10 minutes to solve it. So this is going to be a challenge today. That's all we can say. Let's click the right crossword. We don't want the quick cryptic, good as that is. That is a very different kettle of fish. Here we go. So travel first class. Put yourself down for a saver. Put yourself down. Travel first class. I have literally no clue what that is. Well, you know, one of the things I suppose you pride yourself on once you get decent at solving cryptic crosswords is that you can divide the clue between the definition and the wordplay. That one, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Time with very large middle to get XL. XL could be 40, I suppose, in terms of Roman numerals. I mean, obviously the surface reading of the clue is trying to make you think about the sizes of clothing, but XL in Roman numerals is 40. I didn't say Alexa, I said XL. That's a different word. I know, she's just so desperate to get involved. So I think this is going to be something 40. It's going to be a time like 1040, 140. Time with very large middle. Time with very large middle. With very large middle. I don't know. You see, this three-letter word, if my reading of the clue is correct, this three-letter word here needs to mean very large middle, which is a strange thing for it to mean, isn't it? Very large middle. Let's see if we can justify the 40 part of this. Figure in charge still. Figure in charge. A charge could be a fee. So we need to put a figure in the word fee to mean still. Still is like a photo, isn't it? It's like a... Wow, I don't know. I haven't got that one, I'm afraid. Right, what's this going to be? Run and... I don't know. New lad alone somehow, not missing anybody. Ah, so 40 is wrong. This is one and all. It's an anagram. Okay, so we have to get rid of 40. That has totally nonplussed me. So why is this one and all? Well, it's an anagram. See the word somehow here. That means that these letters need to be presented somehow, i.e. perhaps in a different order. N is a valid abbreviation for new, so N, lad and alone is in the 9-letter anagram fodder that we need. And if you're not missing anybody, you're taking everybody with you, one and all. So this was a disaster, wasn't it? To get XL. So maybe this does mean 10. Time with very large. Time is T sometimes. I don't know what that is. That's really interesting. Overreact when volume turned up close to 1 or close to 1. Close to 1 sounds like the letter E, doesn't it? Overact. If you emote, you overact. Okay. So how am I getting that? Well, I thought of the word volume. Now, initially when I read volume, I was thinking V for volume, which I think is a valid abbreviation. I won't check that in case it's... Well, shall I check it? Let's check it, actually. Let's check V for volume. I think V is a valid abbreviation for volume. Maybe it's not. It is. There you go. V for volume. So we could have been looking at a V. But then when I thought of close to one as being E, I then thought, are there any 4-letter words that are synonymous with volume that I could reverse? I could turn them upside down. And I thought of book, and then I thought of tome. Tome is obviously a large book, and then we get emote, and if you overact, you emote. So we get an E in this funny one, and we get an O at the end of this one. Let's check this one. Drop round. Round can be O. We saw that last week. In pursuit of meadow, I'm thinking Lee, L-E-A. I think we saw that last week as well. Plant for dinner. Drop round. In pursuit of meadow. Or meadow plant. I mean, it could be a meadow plant we need. And then for dinner. Plant for dinner. I don't know. Again, I'm enjoying this so far because it's very hard. Okay, let's see. This looks like an anagram of be done and ice, because that's 9 letters and there's the word breaking in the clue. Be done ice with ice, breaking and falling in. Falling in looks like obedience, doesn't it? So the clue is trying to make you think of, things falling in, a building falling in. But actually, if you fall in with something, you exhibit obedience. And you can see that's an anagram of be done and ice. And look at all these horrible, horrible letters that we're getting in the checking positions. Absolutely useless. I thought that one might be FEE around something, but I now think that looks wrong, doesn't it? In charge looks like it's more likely to be IC, which is a valid. Formic. Figure is your form. Formic. I think you get formic acid, don't you? I don't think. Oh, alembic is a still, as in something you brew on. I wonder if there's a funny word like that. Figure. No, I'm not sure. 5 down. Let's check this out. City. Oh, that means this is going to be the name of a city. To have Liberal MP worn out. Okay, well, it's an anagram of Liberal MP and worn. That's what I'm thinking. That is 13 letters. So we've just got to come up with the name of the city. Let's just give me a moment, because this would obviously be a very important answer. Where's the W going in this? City. My standard anagram technique, by the way, if I'm using pencil or pen to fill in a puzzle, is I write the letters in a circle. And I've got so used to that here I have to imagine the letters in a circle. But when there's this many letters, this method doesn't work so well. City. Let's let my brain percolate over that one. Let's maybe try... Should we try 16 across? Collected monies originally given by state. Monies, collected monies, you're thinking a pool or a kitty. But monies originally could be the M, and then we're looking for, oh yes, it's calm. Okay, so we were looking for a word that means collected. Then I was trying to put the M at the beginning. I thought of mass originally, which I think was because I was thinking of Massachusetts. But actually a different state would be California. CAL, which is a valid abbreviation for California. If we put M by Cal, we get calm. And if you're calm, you are collected. Cool, calm and collected. What we aspire to be on Cracking the Cryptic, and probably fail. 17 down. No reason not to be miles up indeed in a balloon. What on earth? No reason. No reason not to be. No, what? No reason. Mad as a badger. In a balloon. I mean, how can in a balloon... How can in a balloon be in any way a definition here? No reason. I think it means no reason. Or maybe no reason not to. No, yeah, maybe no reason not to. That's quite nice, isn't it, as a definitional phrase. So be miles up. Indeed can sometimes be AY. If you say I, you'd be saying yes, indeed. In a balloon. May, no reason not to. May as, what about may as well? Okay, I like that. I don't understand it. Swell for balloon? Yeah, okay. Miles. No reason not to. Be miles up. Indeed is AY. In a balloon. Looks like a swell. I don't know what the in is doing there. I don't know what the miles up is doing there. Miles up, indeed. In a balloon. Oh, alright. Wow, this is difficult. It's very hard to pass this clue. Pass as in P-A-R-S-E. I mean to understand it, to read it how it's meant to be read. So I think M is miles. And then I think up is being used as an instruction. It's saying up or reverse a word that means indeed, which is A-Y, and put that in a balloon for a swell. And that gives you may as well, which I think is the answer. Very hard indeed. Right, room in a box is restricting extremely. Room in a box, I mean, is restricting extremely. I have no idea what that is. Let's try. Oh, 10 down. This is a wing and a prayer, really. A 13-letter word. For energy, helping. Helping can sometimes be useful in cryptic crosswords because it can be a ration of something. And the reason that helping and ration are so often synonymous is because ration is a very nice collection of letters for constructors. So for energy could be pro, a word that means energy, and then ration, prorogation, to provide a great deal, proliferation. Energy is life. There we go, we've done it. Proliferation. So you can see the only reason I could solve that was basically because I was familiar with helping and ration being synonymous. So it was basically just luck. Now, if you're at college, you are up. You go up to university, and when you're naughty, you get sent down from university. Don't do that. So I'm thinking this ends up. Fail with things at college. So I think this ends up. If you fail with things, stuff up. Stuff up would be 2 words, though. Things are your stuff. I don't think there is a word stuff up. Fail. With can sometimes be W. Things. I don't know what that is. That's very annoying. How irritating. 12 across. A girl to be educated earlier. Retaking a course in India. There's a lot going on in this for 5 letters. I mean, a course in India, I'm thinking of an Indian food is what I'm thinking. Something like Balti. Girl to be educated earlier, retaking a. Oh, a course in India could be an Indian river as well. Something that courses through India. I don't know what that is. 14 across. One offering purse with a fancy zip, her gift. That must be. I mean, zip her gift is an extraordinary collection of letters. But I'm wondering if this is an anagram of zip her gift. One offering purse. Prize something. something. It could prize. You can get prize out. Fight, prize fight. There we go. Prize fight. What a strange anagram. It's very, very odd that anagram so nicely. Okay, one down. Have I looked at this? No. Gastropod. I think of snail. I'm thinking gastropod. Oh, it could be. I don't quite know why. Bop. Oh no, hang on. Party. I'm just going to put gastropub in. But a gastropod in, sorry, for snail. Oh, it could be a gastropub. I don't know what it is. I'm going to put gastropod first. I think. So party. Drink. To sink. Drop. After picking up a. Oh goodness. Maybe this is total and utter nonsense. I'm going to try gastropub instead, because I can see that's got DUP reversed at the end of it, and that is a political party. Oh, hang on. BUP is not. No, that's just total nonsense, isn't it? My brain is getting confused. I'm moving swiftly on. Wrong, being at home with no lemon wedge. Wrong. Being at home is sometimes in. If you're in, you're at home. Wrong, being at home with no lemon wedge. If you've got no lemon wedge, you are. No idea. Let's try. Oh, if I could get this, it might help me with my gastropub conundrum. One of two discs moved inside record. Player. Oh, dojo is a room for karate. DJ. Oh, yes, okay. Yes, that's quite clever. Okay, so a dojo is a room. What do I sometimes watch? Cobra Kai. You'll be familiar with dojos if you watch Cobra Kai. Now, how does this work? Well, a record player is not something that plays records as in a machine. It's somebody who plays records, which is a DJ. So we put, we've got two discs, which is two letter O's, believe it or not, because a letter O can be anything that looks round. A disc is something that looks round. So we've got two O's. We move one of them inside the DJ to get dojo, which is a room for karate. So now gastropod. I'm wondering if there's some other cephalopod or something. To sink looks like it's to drop, doesn't it, after picking up? But where's the R going? Party drink to sink. After picking up a snail. What's that A doing in there? That suggests it's got A in there. Party. I think this is going to be some sort of pod, but I don't know what. And okay, so what's this then? Wrong. Injurious. At home in with no lemon wedge. With no lemon wedge. Injustice? Just ice. Oh gosh. Okay, so if you have your drink without your lemon wedge, you might have it with just ice. Isn't that lovely? And that's what the question mark is doing. It's basically saying this is totally outrageous. And yes, it is, but it's also quite funny. Now hang on, I hadn't seen that this one ends in I. I should have looked at this. Resort. So we're looking at the name of a resort. Website, editable, without a single click ultimately. Well, I think this is some sort of anagram of most of website. Without a single. So is that saying take the I out and add a K for click ultimately? A resort ski something? No, I've not got enough I's in that, have I? Wow, I don't understand that at all. Let's try 22. Begin by shoving hard to stop cat biting. Begin by shoving. Begin, push start. That's beginning by, I quite like that. Push start. Something I always had to do with my old Morris 1100. Begin by shoving. Push start. Hard to stop. Yes, okay, it's a lovely clue, actually. Begin by shoving hard to stop cat biting. I mean, the surface reading suggests you've got a cat on you trying to stop it biting you. But actually, it's all about, well, it's all about push starting a car. Hard, which can be H, I think in the context of pencils, like HB, to stop a cat. So hard stops. So stop in the sense of cork. If you put a cork in something, you are inserting it into something. If that goes inside puss, which is a cat, and tart, if something tastes tart, it is biting. And that do we use the P or the S? I'm going to go for the S. One visiting sailor, lover of pop, perhaps, and heavy metal. Ooh, so is this some sort of... Is this one of the elements? Is there an element we can... One visiting sailor, lover of pop, perhaps. I don't know, I was thinking of King Lear's daughters or something like that. And I don't even really know why. Let's try 22. Montgomery is in... I thought Montgomery was in Alabama. Montgomery is in this year, overwhelmed by, Powys. It's funny that I think of Montgomery as in, America and the Civil Rights Movement. Whereas actually, perhaps I should have been thinking closer to home. Montgomery Powys must be somewhere in Wales. So POWs are war captives, and we put year inside and we get Powys, which is... So, is this Waikiki? Waikiki's got K in it. And I have been to Waikiki Beach. Why is this Waikiki? I mean, it is a resort. It's got a... Without a single K could be... wiki. Oh, okay. Right, wow. So a website that's editable is a wiki, as in Wikipedia. And that is... So that goes outside a single one K, as in click, ultimately, the ultimate letter of the word kick. We get Waikiki. Let's try this one. Furious. If you're furious, you are stewing. You're drunk, committing crime on tube. Drunk, committing crime on tube. Furious, drunk. I think it means furious. Steaming. Well, I mean, if you're furious, you are steaming, but if you're drunk, you're also steaming. Committing crime on tube. Committing crime is sinning. Osmium is a metal, so I quite like that as justifying steaming, but I don't quite understand. Furious, steaming. Drunk, steaming. Committing crime on tube? Question mark. Why is to committing crime on the tube can mean on the television, can't it? Committing crime. Why can't I see what that is? This crossword is clever enough as well that I need to be a bit careful. Maybe it's trying to mislead me into putting steaming when steaming is wrong. Drunk. Committing crime on tube. See, if I was solving this not on camera, I would have just moved on. But I do feel an obligation to justify this. Furious? can't think of another. Let's see if we can justify osmium, which is certainly a metal and would fit. Osmium. One visiting sailor. A sailor, it can be an ordinary seaman, OS. And mum, a lover of pop. So a lover of pop is not pop music. It's somebody who loves the pop in the family, which might be the mom in the family, although spelt as in mum rather than M-O-M. But it's a very clever wordplay, isn't it? So one visits mum to give mium at the end of OS, and then a heavy metal is of osmium. So this M is justified, and then we've got, I think I'll come back to steaming, but I can't think what else it would be. Let's try that one. Making one pass on license given to small boy. Making one. Uniting, I'm thinking, but obviously that's not going to work with an L at the end. Pass can be col, as in a mountain pass, C-O-L. On license given to small boy. A small boy could be Al, as in a boy's name that's quite short and it's quite small. That's the sort of thing. I mean, I would have given that a question mark if that is the construction. So making one pass on license. Making one pass on. Lethal. Ooh, quite like that. Making one pass on. Lethal. Leth. Now, leth. Is leth an old word for a license? Or no, okay, no, it's not. But let is a word for a license. If you license someone to do something, you let them do it. And then Hal is our small boy rather than Al. That gives us lethal, which is the answer. Wow, that's a difficult clue again. Right, so press pipe down underneath vineyard. Vineyard can sometimes be crew, C-R-U. Pipe down is sh. So we're not pressing a pipe down. We press, we crush. And pipe down, if you tell somebody to pipe down, you sh them. So there we go, lovely. 23, tools to get hold of instead of spades. To get hold of instead of. I should just be able to write this in. This is appalling. Tools. It's the name of a tool. Admittedly, my DIY skills are fairly limited, so perhaps it's not a tool I own. Let's try 26. Train in Peru, trundling around. Train, educate. Nurture. Wow, okay. It's one of the hiddens. So these come up. There's normally one in every Times crossword. Sometimes they're spelt forwards, sometimes they're spelled backwards, but there always has to be an indication that the answer is hidden in the clue. And here the word is, so train is the definition, and inside the letters of Peru trundling turned around, you can see spelt out N-U-R-T-U-R-E, nurture. If you nurture something, you train it. So that gives us, well, okay, so hang on. So this is ending in T-O-N, isn't it? This is our city. So it's going to be something like Littlehampton. But it's not Littlehampton. Maybe it ends Hampton, though. I quite like Hampton as an ending, I have to say. Although there's no H in it. Oh no. Oh, hang on, I've got the anagram wrong. That's why I'm struggling to solve it. Because, right, I was reading it as Warn Liberal MP anagrammed, but what if it's Have Liberal MP? And that makes more sense, to be honest. That gets me the H. So then what letters am I left with that are in any way interesting after we take out Hampton? A V. A B, I want to say. Have I got an L as well? I think I do. I think I've got two L's. Oh no, hang on. This can't be right, can it? This is getting strange now. Liberal MP. Worn out. Littlehampton. I mean, sure, this must be Hampton. What's this word then? Room in a box is restricting extremely. I think this probably means extremely. Room can be RM as an abbreviation. And that goes in a box. I'm thinking cell for some reason. But what's the A doing there? Extremely per. I was thinking for A. Room. Extremely. It's not sure. Let's try 18. Mostly lacking knowledge, ignorant about current matter as a whole. Entirety, lacking knowledge about current. Current is normally I. It can be AC as a type of alternating current, but I can be current as in V equals IR, Ohm's law. So the matter as a whole is the. Well, I keep thinking of it entirety, but it's obviously not that. This is annoying. Right, okay, let's. Have we looked? No, we definitely haven't looked at all the clues, have we? Have we looked at that one? No. Pick out Dal, oddly. Well, that's probably the odd letters of the word Dal. So that would be DA. Passing up bean. Add. Pick out. There is some very strange bean, isn't there? Like the Adzuki bean or something. Pick out. Unless it's the odd letters of the whole expression. Passing up bean. ADU. Yeah, a dookie bean. That could well be. So we take the odd letters of pick, out, and dial, except reversed, because we're passing them upwards. It's a down clue. We get a dookie. I think it's something like that. There's a strange word that I don't really know, as you could tell, but a dookie bean sounds like something that might exist. Let's go back to one across. Travel first class. Put yourself down for a saver. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. Travel first class. Go. Put yourself down for a saver. I don't know what that is. 3 down. Have I looked at this? No. Knowledge, largely. Hard to find by day. None of us can see it. Knowledge, largely. Hard to find by day. So it sounds like hard can be H. We've already seen that. So I'm thinking like H here. And then one of the wed would be a day of the week that would fit. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When's the only one? Actually, that puts pay to that, doesn't it? It's not going to end like that. None of us can see it. Knowledge, largely. Knowledge is short synonyms for knowledge. I'm thinking words like ken, K-E-N. Knowledge, or gen even. None of us can see it. Don't know. Right, we're getting very stuck now, aren't we? Oh, stuff up. It can't be stuff up. It just can't. Info could be knowledge. Oh. Let's just have a look at that. None of us can see it. The infinite. Knowledge largely hard to find by day. Hard to find could be rare. Infrared. Oh, goodness me. That's right. That's really clever, isn't it? So knowledge largely is info. Most of the word info. If something's hard to find, it's rare. And then I was thinking of 3-letter shortenings of the days of the week. Actually, it was just simply D for day. Infrared is something none of us can see. So this still looks like... I'm going to put stuff up here. I mean, what else can it be? There must be a... I mean, I've never heard that before. Gastropub is looking... Or gastropod is still looking good. That would give us R here. Now, Indian course could be Raita, couldn't it? Never sure how you say that, but that's certainly... Girl to be educated. Educating Rita. Retaking... Okay, she retakes the A. So Rita's already got an A, but she takes another A earlier on, which gives us this A, and we get a course in India. That's going to be right. So this is still looking like gastropod. I just don't understand why it's right. But that's going to give us also a bit more in this one. A saver. Put yourself down for a saver. I mean, I can't think of much. Gratis? Gratis means free. Gracie? Gratin? Travel is go, isn't it? Goatee. Travel. First class. Goalie. A goalie is a saver. Yes, okay. Yes, that's great. That's a really clever clue. So go is to travel. If something, a piece of work is first class, you give it an A. If you put yourself down, you lie. That's what you just do. You know, as an action, you would lie. Put all that together, we get goalie, and that a goalie is a saver. So all we've got to do now, we've got lots to do. But firstly, what we've got to do is to justify gastropod. So, party drink, punch, port. Oh, a party is a do. Okay, so do and port, which is a drink. To sink is to sag, and then we pick the whole lot up and we get a snail, a gastropod. Good grief. Okay, that was doable. I mean, it's very hard to solve cold. But I suppose, well, I say that, but if you were thinking of 9-letter words for snails, you might come up with gastropod straight away. Justifying it's a little harder. So I feel if we can solve 4 across, because we get all of these first letters, we'd have a good chance to solve the puzzle. So let's try this again. So time with very large middle. Very large can be outsize or OS, which could be there maybe. To get XL. If something is XL, it's very big. Or maybe it's 2 score. Maybe it's a way of expressing the number 40. I quite like 2 score. Let's see if that's justifiable. So time would be T. With could be W. Very large OS, and the middle of something is the core. So it is 2 score, and it is 40. 40 was the definition. So what is this then? Wolverhampton. I don't quite understand the anagram, but I'm sure it's right. Wolverhampton, as in Wolverhampton Wanderers. Is it an anagram? No, if for an anagram, I've got to have. Where's the H coming from? To have Liberal MP. Worn out. Oh, okay, maybe it's... No, okay, so maybe it's just L for liberal. So it's an anagram of to have L, MP and worn. Wow, that's really clever. Okay, so I just didn't understand that. I've been trying to put a B into it and things like that, and that's just total and utterly wrong. But if we anagram to have L for liberal, MP and worn, we can get Wolverhampton. Now, what's this then? Leave go, leave to, drop round. In pursuit of meadow. I see a meadow must be Lee. Plant for dinner. Ah, plant for dinner could be veg, perhaps. Drop. If you drop something, you leave it go. Leave go. Round, we've looked at that last week, can be O. And that goes in pursuit of Lee and veg, which is a plant you might have for your dinner. Meat and veg. I mean, it's outrageous. Very hard, but very clever. So static for still. A figure is a stat. Yeah. So stat as in statistic. IC for in charge. If something's static, it is still. Right. So we've got 3 left. Room in a box is restricting. Oh, a box could be television. Telly. Room in a box is restricting extremely. If something's extremely, it is terminally. I'm not sure. I quite like terminally. I'm going to put it in and see if I can justify it. Terminally. Okay, so that's got telly around R. Yeah, okay, so it's room inner, which is RM, IN for in and A. So RM, IN and A. That a telly, a box, is restricting. So it's very hard to get the semantics right there, but that is how it's working. And then terminally, if something is extremely, it is terminally something. So now, what's this then? Mostly lacking knowledge in ignorance or something. Into. Oh, it makes you wonder about lethal, but integral matter as a whole is the mostly lacking knowledge in about current matter as a whole. Matter as a whole is the whole it's coming to kill me. The Cathcart Towers Hotel. What is it? Mostly lacking knowledge. If you're lacking knowledge, you are in ignorance. You're unaware. Ooh, unaware I quite like. Universe. Unversed. Gosh, unversed. So once I had the thought of you, I could get it. So it's unversed, mostly lacking knowledge in something. So unversed, take the D off the end. Put that around I, so we were right about V. And this is vices then for these tools, is it? To get hold of instead of spades. Tools to get hold of. Oh, it must be vices, mustn't it? Tools to get hold of. I think vice maybe vice is a word that means to get hold of instead of, like a vice president is who you'd go to rather than, you know, if the president wasn't available. I think vice there has some meaning that's helpful for the get hold of instead of. And then spades is just S, as in the suit spades. And if you've ever watched, you know, read the bridge column, you'll know that S can be an abbreviation for spades. So, okay, so if all of that is correct, and we might do a bit of looking up in the dictionary to justify vice, assuming the answer is right. The only one I've not justified at all, I feel, is steaming. Committing crime on tube. Why is steaming to commit a crime on a train? Drunk committing crime. Smoking would be committing a crime on the train, wouldn't it? Committing crime. Sting? That's not committing a crime. On tube, steaming. Furious. Absolutely. I can't think of anything better than steaming. I just can't. Drunk. Committing crime. On tube. Not sure. I think this is what I'd submit though. Let's have a look. And hopefully steaming. I'd be so cross with myself if steaming is wrong. Ah, the pregnant pause. The internet or the Times is slow today. I think we can scroll down and see. Oh, I've got an error. So I have made an error. I bet you it's steaming. Let's see. Oh, sorry. No, well, that's okay. I will forgive myself that because that's just a typo. I definitely said injustice and justified it. Somehow I've ended up with a U there. You've probably all been shouting at me. That you know, again, that ruins the statistics for me. Every time I do one of these videos, the Times Snitch thinks that my average time goes up by loads because I get a 44-minute time for a puzzle. I mean, I'm not saying I would have solved this in 10 minutes. I really wouldn't have done. But I probably could have solved it in under 20 minutes, say. So it's just a disaster. Okay, but steaming was right. So actually, in terms of thought processes, everything was right. And that's good. Now, let's see if we can justify any of the complicated parts. So vice, is that got a meaning that we want to make use of? So what were we looking for in terms of where was the clue for vice? To get hold of instead of. Ah, there we go, from the Latin, no doubt. In the place of, yeah, from Latin, yeah. I see, I'd never studied Latin, so many of you will have just known this. So, well, I think that is where, as we conjectured, or I conjectured, vice president and comes from. So vice just means in the place of, which certainly is consistent with the reading of the clue. So we even understood that. The one we don't understand, I think, at all is steaming. Let's just check. Oh, stuff up. How can that be a word? Well, that's interesting. The dictionary doesn't seem to know it. So this, well, I mean, this software is quite old now, this Chambers full text search. So perhaps stuff up is a sort of modern parlance. I'm not seeing it there. So a stuff up, unhyphenated as well. It apparently is a thing. Who knew? I did not know that. Okay, so stuff up. Rita we understood, didn't we, in the end? Terminally we understood. Infrared. Oh, let's look up SUDOKU. Oops. Let's look up SUDOKU and just check whether there's... Yeah, there we go. Ah, see, I think I even said Adzuki. Because I had that in my mind, that it had a strange Z in it. But an SUDOKU is an alternative version. Okay, well, I didn't know that. Well, you learn something new every day. Lethal, we justified that, didn't we? So I think that the only one is steaming. So I'll have a think about that. And if I spot something obvious, I'll leave a comment under the video, in the video description. But I don't quite understand. I'm probably just missing. I'm just probably not thinking about it in the right way, because quite often when you're doing these puzzles, it's very easy for your mind to get set on one track, and that's never a good thing. Never do that if you can possibly help it. But I hope that was useful. A slightly longer video because it's a slightly harder puzzle, but it was very, very cool. I mean, I have to I think some of the Times people do watch this, and I have to beg them, basically, please, on Fridays, put your best puzzle of the week in, because this is really fun to solve. It really is very interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed it mightily. Would love to know who set it. I'm afraid we don't know. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.